Oh, for our guest, what a week earning his paycheck. Researchers at the University of Utah say now that it's too dangerous to vape. And at least one Utah lawmaker says some vaping products are actually carrying illicit substances. Scrutiny over the vaping industry is at an all-time high.
Our guest today is Juan Bravo. He's the president of the Utah Vapor Business Association.
How you doing?
Juan, thanks for coming in to answer some tough questions this week.
Yeah, and Juan, let's start off just with that latest thing that we said. And this is Representative Paul Ray from Davis County. And he came out with some pretty, some pretty extraordinary statements about what they found. How do you respond to that? He says that there were illicit drugs in some of the vaping products that your folks sell.
Right. That was really surprising to us. You know, those of us who've been in the vapor industry for years, we know what goes into these products. There's really only 4 components that can go into the manufacturing of e-liquid in the state of Utah. Propylene glycol, vegetable glycerin, food flavoring, and nicotine, all of course PSP grade. Mm-hmm. That's it. So for him to claim that there were illicit substances in there, you know, PHP, barbiturates, that sort of thing, we actually reached out to the lab that he used for these tests, Beech Tree Diagnostics, and their president, you know, he mentioned to us that they did not do these tests. They only do urine tests. Mm-hmm. They sold him urine test strips that are known for coming back with different results on other substances.
So he'd be pouring another kind of substance onto something that's meant for urine to test that for drugs.
Basically,
and that sort of
for comparison, you know, apparently those tests are known to, say you test a can of Red Bull with that. Mr. Morano said that those are, they can't come back positive for cocaine.
We should say that we reached out to Beech Tree to try and get some of that on the record. We've been unable to. We'd still like to hear from Beech Tree to hear that for ourselves.
Sure. So do they have any other explanation as to why they were pulled into this? Because Beech Tree's name is being exposed and linked now to this accusation.
I think they're having a similar week to what we're dealing with. I'm not sure why they.
Yeah. Then let's get into some of these issues that we're hearing about vaping, the health issues.
Sure.
Because honestly, I understand. You represent business owners who have a real legitimate reason to be scared for their livelihood.
Sure.
At the same time, if people are getting sick and dying, you have to do something, don't you?
Absolutely, absolutely. And we've actually been trying to work with legislature for quite some time on this. We're all for regulation if it's sensible regulation. Mm-hmm. You know, as far as people getting sick, we're actually working on commissioning our own tests to test the product, and we would love to get in contact with the U of U to run tests on the lungs of adult vapors to really see what's going on. We are of the opinion that this is being caused not by vaping e-liquid or e-cigarettes, but by vaping black market THC cartridges.
Now, one thing that I have a student who's in high school. Mm-hmm. I hear he and his friends talk, and a few weeks ago I heard them joking about the fact that they just call one of the boys' restrooms in the school, that's the vaping room.
Right.
It's really common among high school kids, and the flavors especially are. I mean, you can't deny that, so how do we address that?
And I couldn't agree with you more that youth use is a major problem. We've sat down with multiple members of, state government to try to discuss with them how to go about solving this. We tried working with a representative last year on an age verification bill, making it mandatory for anybody handling these products, any tobacco products, any vapor products, to have ID scanners in place. Right now, there's no legislation that requires that of anybody. Make it mandatory to have ID scanners in place, make it mandatory, and also make it hurt. If somebody is caught selling to a minor, increase the penalties on retailers. Right now, it's a slap on the wrist.
Mm-hmm. How many vape retailers are there in the state of Utah?
Oh, goodness. I mean, traditional vapor, you're talking in the vicinity of 30.
Okay. Throughout the state?
Yeah.
Juan, what do you want to see happen next? You yourself said it was a busy week. What do you want to see happen?
We would love to still, reach out to Representative Ray as well as other members of state government to work on this together. We're not against them. We're not, trying to further any kind of an agenda. We want to work with them to solve the problem. Okay. We are all for youth prevention. We are all for, it being a safer alternative.
And I just need to stop you because we are out of time. But sure. Juan Bravo, the president of the Utah Vapor Business Association, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Juan.